In the heart of the Ember Kingdom, where flames danced and shadows whispered, Queen Liora sat upon her obsidian throne. Her fiery gaze surveyed her court, a mix of loyal subjects and treacherous nobles. Rumors had spread of a mysterious sorcerer named Draken, who had recently arrived in the kingdom. His powers were said to be unparalleled, and his origins unknown. Some whispered he hailed from the Forgotten Realms, while others believed he was a harbinger of doom. One evening, as the crimson sun set, casting the palace in a golden hue, Draken was summoned to the royal court. His entrance was nothing short of mesmerizing. Cloaked in shadows, with eyes that glinted like starlight, he approached the queen with a confident stride. Their eyes met, and for a brief moment the entire court held its breath. An electric tension filled the air, a mix of danger and desire. Without uttering a word, Draken presented a crystal orb, its core pulsating with a mysterious energy. "Your Majesty," he began, his voice smooth as silk, "I bring a gift, a token of a future alliance, should you deem it worthy." The orb floated towards Liora, its glow reflecting in her intrigued eyes. The days that followed were filled with whispered conversations and stolen glances. The court was abuzz with speculation about the nature of the relationship between the queen and the sorcerer. Some saw it as a strategic alliance, while others whispered of a budding romance. Draken, with his vast knowledge and arcane abilities, began to assist Liora in strengthening the kingdom's defenses. Together, they devised spells and barriers that protected the Ember Kingdom from external threats. But with each passing day, the internal threat of their growing affection became harder to ignore. In the secrecy of the palace gardens, under the silvery glow of the moon, their true feelings began to surface. "Why did you really come here, Draken?" Liora asked one night, her voice soft and vulnerable. Draken hesitated, then replied, "Destiny brought me to you, but it's the pull of my heart that makes me stay." Their nights became a blend of passionate discussions about the kingdom's future and tender moments of intimacy. But as their bond deepened, so did the resentment and jealousy of the courtiers. Plots and schemes began to form in the shadows, aiming to drive a wedge between the queen and the sorcerer. One fateful evening, a letter, sealed with the emblem of the neighboring Ice Kingdom, arrived at the palace. It bore a message that threatened to shatter the fragile peace of the Ember Kingdom and test the strength of Liora and Draken's bond. The letter from the Ice Kingdom was an invitation, or rather, a summons. King Eldrick, known for his cold demeanor and ruthless strategies, requested the presence of Queen Liora at a peace summit. The location? The treacherous Frostbite Pass, a place where many had ventured but few returned. Draken, sensing the danger, advised against the journey. "It's a trap," he whispered, his eyes filled with genuine concern. But Liora, ever the fearless leader, saw it as an opportunity to broker peace and strengthen her kingdom's position. As they journeyed through the icy landscapes, the tension was palpable. Every gust of wind carried whispers of treachery, and every snowflake seemed to hide a secret. Draken, using his arcane abilities, shielded the queen and her entourage from the worst of the elements. Upon reaching Frostbite Pass, they were greeted not by King Eldrick, but by his cunning sorceress, Lady Isolde. With a smirk, she revealed the true nature of the summit, a challenge of magical prowess between her and Draken, with the fate of both kingdoms hanging in the balance. The duel was intense, with spells and incantations echoing through the icy caverns. As the battle raged on, Liora realized that the real challenge was not just the duel, but the web of intrigue and betrayal that surrounded them. As the magical energies clashed and swirled, the very foundation of Frostbite Pass began to tremble. The duel between Draken and Lady Isolde was not just a test of skill, but of wills, with each trying to outmaneuver the other. Queen Liora, realizing the danger they were all in, decided to intervene. Drawing her sword, imbued with ancient Ember Kingdom magic, she stepped into the fray. Her presence shifted the balance, turning the duel into a triad of power. Lady Isolde, seeing the combined might of Liora and Draken, decided to employ her most potent spell. A vortex of icy winds and snow began to form, threatening to engulf everything and everyone in its path. Draken, summoning all his strength, created a protective barrier around Liora and himself. The two shared a moment, their eyes locking, understanding the gravity of their situation. They combined their powers, fusing fire and shadow, to counteract Isolde's spell. The resulting explosion of magic was blinding. When the dust settled, Lady Isolde was nowhere to be seen. and the once treacherous Frostbite Pass had transformed into a serene winter wonderland. The danger had passed, but the journey was far from over. With Lady Isolde's threat neutralized, Queen Liora and Draken made their way back to the Ember Kingdom. The journey home was filled with reflection and anticipation. The bond between them had grown stronger, forged in the fires of adversity. Upon their return, the kingdom erupted in celebration. The news of their victory over the Ice Kingdom's sorceress had spread like wildfire. The streets were lined with cheering subjects, and the night sky was illuminated with magical fireworks. However, amidst the celebrations, Draken pulled Liora aside. "Our actions have consequences," he whispered. "The balance between the realms has been disturbed. We must be prepared for what comes next." Liora nodded, understanding the weight of their decisions. "Together, we'll face whatever challenges arise," she declared. The two of them, standing atop the palace balcony, looked out over their kingdom, ready to defend it against any threat. And so, the tale of Queen Liora and Draken, the shadowy sorcerer, became legend. A story of love, power, and sacrifice, passed down through the generations, reminding all of the thin line between victory and defeat, and the enduring power of unity.